So today we're going to try to determine which one of these is the best small cordless rotary tool. If you're looking for something to use cutoff wheels with, I'm going to tell you, watch my other video with the bigger rotary tools. You're going to want to go with that, not something small like this. These smaller tools are good for polishing, doing a little bit of drum sanding, some wood engraving, stuff like that. So if we talk about a little bit of the specs on some of these, some of the things that make them a little bit different, we'll start with the WEN here, the case, LEDs on the front, so when you're working with it, and of course it is variable speed. Now you cannot screw an adapter on here, this is fixed. Plus it does come with a charger that plugs right into the wall. Moving on to the Ryobi, we have a quick detach chuck here. Also it is threaded, so you can thread attachments on, variable speed, and it's also the only one with a removable battery here, making it real quick to get back up and going if you have, of course, a spare battery laying around. USB-C charging cable, of course you have to provide the adapter to go from 110, 115 to the wall. Dremel Lite, we have the thread on here so we can thread adapters on. Also on the front here you do have that wrench there so you can go ahead and tighten and loosen your chuck just with the use of this. Variable speed, built-in battery. Small little assortment and a charging cable. 7350 fixed on the front here, single speed, and the battery is built in. This is your most basic one here and comes with the very minimal assortment of accessories. Same deal, charging cable, and you're going to have to provide the adapter there.
So they're made in two different countries, China or Mexico. All have a 2-year warranty, and the cost ranges from about $30 to $60.
All right, so now we're going to get the max and min RPM of each.
Now when we look at max and min RPM, again the 7350 is a standard 9,000 RPM, where the WEN, the broadest range of going all the way up to 23,000. Again, this is no load RPM, this is just off the tester.
So now I'm going to set each one speed to the 7350. Now we're going to see how long they run without a load.
When we look at no load runtime, all set at that 9,000 RPM, you can see that the Ryobi has the shortest time and the 7350 did run the longest.
I did drain all these down, so let's go ahead just see how long it takes for them to charge.
As we look at charge time here, I mean all 4 of them were really close, with the WEN being the quickest at 2 hours and 2 minutes and the Ryobi being the longest at 2 hours and 21 minutes.
I've got all new easy lock discs here for each one. Now again, I would not recommend using these small ones for grinders. You can watch my video on bigger cordless ones if you're looking for something to actually do this, but this is going to give us a good idea of how much power each one of these have.
So the Ryobi did this in the shortest time, with the 7350 almost 3 times.
Well, you've seen the data, so here's what I'm going to recommend. Stay away from the 7350. Yes, it is the cheapest, but remember it is single speed. To me, this is really only good for polishing and probably using the brush attachment. So if you're looking at that, then maybe consider it. Now the WEN here, performed decently for the price. Of course, you can see it's starting to already peel this sticker off here. The center, the chuck here is actually not drilled properly. I ended up having to put a different chuck adapter on there. So there are some quality concerns there. Overall, if you got to go between one of the two, either this or the 7350 because of the price, I would definitely recommend the WEN. So moving on, I do have to give the #1 spot actually to the Ryobi. There's a few things I definitely prefer over the Dremel Lite. One, the power switch here, you can see that's kind of cheap there. It is also bulkier compared to the Ryobi. Might be easier to tell that way right there. And the battery is non-removable. So if something happens to this battery, you're gonna have to throw the tool out and get a new one. Whereas with the Ryobi, you know, we can remove the battery here. That being said, yes, it did not perform as well battery-wise. The battery in the Dremel is actually better, but again, hopefully if you have this tool, you know, you might pick up another one of these 4-volt tools down the road and have a spare battery, and that eliminates that whole problem there. Now I will say, I don't really prefer this quick chuck. I actually prefer Dremel's design here. I kind of find this a little bit bulky. Now they do provide you with the old style, so you could install that if you wanted, but that's just my opinion on that. If we do touch base a little bit on noise level, the quietest was the Dremel Lite, but here we're talking, I seen roughly 2 to 3 dB variation, so not much. But if you're looking for the quietest, then I would have to recommend, you know, the Dremel Lite. So again, my pick's gonna be the Ryobi. Yes, it's the most expensive, but I feel it's the best value for the money. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned for more.